Reports in Brazil and from Team Talk are stating that Spurs remain interested in signing Santos defender Souza. Spurs have offered 10 million euros. That has been turned down. They want at least 20 million euros to let the player leave. Milan Live are stating that AC Milan are looking to sign defender Radu Drăgușin in the January transfer window. Team Talk are stating that Real Madrid are weighing up an offer for Pedro Porro. Bournemouth boss Andoni Iraola has confirmed that Antoine Semenyo will play against Tottenham on Wednesday, and it may be his last game. Team Talk are stating that Crystal Palace, Everton, Fulham and Tottenham will have the opportunity to sign Strand Larsen, and the striker will be available for £40 million. And the Daily Telegraph have just reported that Tottenham are weighing up January move for attacker after Mohammed Kudus injury. Scans show injury picked up at the weekend are worse than feared. Hi everyone, hope you're well. Chris Cowlin here. This is another edition of Tottenham News, where I'll be going through all the latest Spurs news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you listen to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Now I'm going to start with a story just released by the Daily Telegraph, some breaking news. Tottenham weigh up January move for attacker after Mohammed Kudus blow. Scans show injury picked up at the weekend are worse than feared, as boss Thomas Frank admits that side are a little bit short on offensive options. Now, a couple of loan recalls and short statements released by Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. George Abbott has returned to the club following his loan spell at Wycombe Wanderers. The 20-year-old academy product made 15 appearances in all competitions for the League One side after linking up with them in the summer. He scored one goal during his time at Adams Park, which came in a 2-0 home victory over Northampton Town in September. Spurs have also stated that Alfie Dorrington has been recalled from his loan at Aberdeen, having spent the second half of the 24-25 campaign on loan in Scotland, where he lifted the Scottish Cup in May. The defender rejoined the Scottish Premiership side on loan in July. He went on to make a further 14 appearances for the Dons, including 6 in European competition. A product of our academy, Alfie Dorrington made his senior debut for us in December 2024 in a 5-0 Premier League win over Southampton. And Italian journalist and transfer expert Fabrizio Romano has stated that Min-hyeok is set to join Coventry on loan from Tottenham, as deal has been agreed today. And various other reports are stating that Spurs have recalled Min-hyeok from his loan spell at Portsmouth due to lack of game time, and he will face a fresh challenge in the second part of this season. Bournemouth boss Andoni Iraola has confirmed that Antoine Semenyo will play against Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League on Wednesday evening. He has also stated this may be his last game for the club, and Sky Sports have just reported that Antoine Semenyo has his Manchester City medical booked for Thursday morning. Team Talk have just reported that Crystal Palace, Everton, Fulham and Tottenham will have the opportunity to sign Strand Larsen in the winter transfer window. The 4 Premier League clubs have all been informed about his situation. Meanwhile, Wolverhampton Wanderers are ready to cash in on the Norwegian international by accepting a bid of around £40 million. Team Talk and Madrid Universal have both reported that Real Madrid are weighing up a swoop for Spurs right back Pedro Porro. Milan Live have just reported that AC Milan are looking to sign Tottenham Hotspur defender Radu Drăgușin in the January transfer window. Former Spurs boss Ryan Mason has just been sacked by West Bromwich Albion, and Team Talk are stating that Spurs remain interested in signing Santos defender Souza, and multiple clubs are interested in the player. However, Tottenham are the most advanced in the race right now, and they have already proposed a deal worth around 10 million euros. The Brazilian club is demanding double that amount. They will only sell the defender for around 20 million euros. It remains to be seen whether Tottenham are prepared to break the bank for the teenager, and despite the initial proposal being rejected, Tottenham are refusing to give up on the chase and are continuing talks with the South American outfit. Now, my thoughts on everything in this episode. Let's start by talking about the Daily Telegraph report. Tottenham weigh up January move for attacker after Mohammed Kudus blow, as scans show injury picked up at the weekend are worse than feared. Of course, we know he's going to miss the Bournemouth away game on Wednesday in the Premier League. I am just hoping and praying that this player is not going to be out for a long period of time, because I'll tell you what, as Ben Davies said after the Sunderland game at the weekend, it is sod's law. We sell Brennan Johnson. Thomas Frank allows the player who scored the Europa League winning goal in May in Bilbao. He allows him to leave. And then, of course, now we get the injury to Mohammed Kudus. I'll tell you what, you couldn't write this stuff up. You couldn't make this stuff up, and you couldn't write it, because the amount of injuries and bad luck that Tottenham Hotspur have had, particularly in recent seasons with injuries, has just been simply incredibly bad, I might add. Let's just hope and pray that Mohammed Kudus is not out for very long, because, as I keep saying, we've got games coming thick and fast. In hindsight, it was the wrong thing to do to sell Brennan Johnson. I said this at the time, you bring in players, you certainly hope that the club have got an ace or two up their sleeve in terms of the January transfer window. We're 6 days in now to the January window. We haven't had any incomings. It appears that all of the reports that are being published at the moment, it is very, very difficult to get deals done, particularly with quality stars, quality players, real impact players, ready-made players, players with Premier League experience. It is difficult to bring these players in. Spurs need to be working overtime. I know Thomas Frank has come out and said that Vinar Venkatesham, Johan Langer and Fabio Prasci are all working day and night. They're working around the clock to get deals done. I tell you what, at this stage, they need to be working a little bit harder and pulling something out of their sleeve, pulling an ace or two out of the sleeve, because if Mohammed Kudus' injury is bad, and it means that he's going to be out for a number of months rather than a number of weeks, or, missing a couple of games, then, of course, Spurs need to, act on this in this January transfer window and, start, identifying players that are realistic options to bring in this January window, or even explore some, decent loan deals that, players that can come in and make a real impact. Now, the loan players, or the players recalled from their loans, George Abbott, Alfie Dorrington, Min-hyeok. I mentioned this on a transfer show with Craig Dearman yesterday, that I actually think that Spurs need to be applauded in the way that they deal with these loans, because when they feel that the loans aren't beneficial to the players and their development, they do recall the players and they do try to find the players better loans. Now, of course, Coventry are doing extremely well in the Championship, so I think Min-hyeok would do extremely well there, working under Frank Lampard as well. Let's hope to see that George Abbott and Alfie Dorrington get better loans and they get more game time in the second part of this campaign rather than in the first. It's an interesting one about Bournemouth boss Andoni Iraola saying about Antoine Semenyo. His medical is, of course, booked at the Etihad for Thursday. He will certainly not want to get injured, but of course, at the same time, he will want to put on a bit of a display for Bournemouth and their fans, if this is his last game, which it looks very highly likely that it's going to be. That's going to be a very tough game, by the way, on Wednesday. I'll give you a little stat, though. They haven't won in the Premier League since the end of October, and their last 11 games, 5 draws, 6 defeats in the Premier League. But of course, they do play some great football. Andoni Iraola has done a great job at Bournemouth, but I do expect a very, very tough game. Now, Team Talk have stated that Palace, Everton, Fulham and Spurs have the opportunity to sign Strand Larsen. He's available for around £40 million. Is he worth that? Absolutely not. It's amazing, isn't it? You offload a player like Brennan Johnson for £35 million, and now we're talking, or these reports are talking about Spurs possibly signing a player, for £40 million in a team that has only won one game all season and is about to be relegated from the Premier League. I think that Spurs should be aiming higher, in my honest opinion. Team Talk is stating that Real Madrid are weighing up a swoop for Spurs right back Pedro Porro. If there is any talk of deals like this happening, it will be the summer. It certainly won't be now. And I think that a lot of Spurs players, and this is me being completely honest, I think a lot of Spurs players will look back at the season under Thomas Frank in the summer, and they will probably assess where they think the club is and whether the club are showing real ambition to move forward and be, we will be able to compete for more trophies and we will be able to compete on all fronts. And I feel like this, particularly with players like Mickey van der Ven and Christian Romero, two top players, they will be asking that exact question. What are we doing in the January window? What are we doing in the summer window? Are we going to be in a position at Spurs to be competing for more trophies? Because Romero, World Cup winner, Romero has won a lot of trophies in his international career. Van der Ven tasting that success in the Europa League in May. These players want to be in a position where we're competing for trophies and winning trophies on a consistent basis. Of course, this is exactly what the fans want as well. Some other players might not mind the position we're in, but I tell you what, there'll certainly be one or two, three or four. You tell me how many you think there is, that they will be wanting Spurs to be pushing for trophies and be successful on a regular basis, and that means going strong in transfer windows. Team Talk have stated that Spurs remain interested in Santos defender Souza, and multiple clubs are interested in the player. This, again, if Spurs desperately want this player, and apparently they are trying to continue talks, €10 million they've offered, and the Brazilian club want €20 million. If he is that good, then Spurs will probably put some kind of proposal together that it may be, a deal worth €10 million initially, and then the fee may increase over time, appearances, trophies won, etc., etc. So I've no doubt that they'll be trying to iron out a deal for the left back. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're watching on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button, like, share and comment below. And if you listen to this on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Have a great week, keep smiling and come on you Spurs.